Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. Something I'm going to start doing, I'm going to call Corner Talk, hashtag Corner Talk. And these videos are going to be for fighters that I'm a fan of, fighters with potential, fighters that might be coming off a win or a loss, or fighters that I feel like get the raw end of the deal in certain situations. So these videos are going to be words of encouragement, a little constructive criticism here and there for these fighters. You know, no trolling or bashing anybody, just words from the outside looking in, just real talk. That's why I call it Corner Talk, because there's certain things we see fighters do that maybe they shouldn't be doing, so we tell them. There's certain things that they need to continue to do to continue to have success or win, so we tell them. So I'm going to be doing this for certain fighters in women's MMA and boxing as well. So for this segment, I want to do this one for Taneisha Tennant. It's been a few weeks since the controversial loss of Danielle Wolf, a fighter that came in 0-0. Taneisha was set up to fight Danielle Wolf, a weight class above her own at featherweight. And right away, a lot of MMA fans and MMA fighters knew this was kind of a setup for Danielle to win. Taneisha came in there, though, and used her skill and her experience to earn a victory in our eyes. But Danielle Wolf, she was given the decision. And she was also given a UFC contract. So it can be a little discouraging for Taneisha right now. So these are just some words of encouragement for Taneisha Tennant or any fighter that needs encouragement in the sport of MMA or boxing. Almost like a keys to victory on how to move forward and try to make the right choices to, get better and better and prosper in the sport. So first up, for Taneisha, I definitely would tell her, keep working on your craft. Taneisha, you're a solid fighter. I feel like you have some attributes other prospects don't have, and even some attributes that some contenders don't have. I definitely feel like, she's a bantamweight that can adapt to different styles, uses your IQ well, fights for her and fights to win. And that's why I just feel like, Taneisha just needs to continue on the same path like before the Contender Series, and just keep perfecting her stand-up and her ability to control the distance and the pace of a fight. I think the more and more she works on her clinch game and her ground game, she'll get closer to being a complete fighter, especially when you surround yourself with fighters like Caitlin Kagan, SARS, Claudia Gadelha. A lot of their strengths will rub off on you, and that's definitely going to make you better. So just keep perfecting that craft and don't get discouraged. Also, look at the Danielle Wolf fight as a plus too, because, we feel like he won the fight. So you can always say, dang, I look back at this fight, look at my strengths there. I can back up a bigger fighter, almost stop the bigger fighter just off my striking alone. So I just can go back and look at these. I can go back and look at these rounds and say, okay, this is what I need to do, and this is what I don't need to do, and this is how I can control the bigger fighter eventually if I want to move up the featherweight. So there was an advantage to that. So just keep working on your craft. Also, just keep fighting and winning. From here, just see that decision as a blessing in disguise, where maybe this was a way as something telling you this contract wasn't for you, especially if they had you taking a fight at 145. Who knows if they would have let you go back down to 135, since Dana White's trying to make a featherweight division. So I think just going back, racking up some wins and taking names, you'll eventually set yourself up for better opportunities where they can't deny you. With more wins and highlight performances, Taneisha really shouldn't have to fight for a contract at some point. Fighters like Kay Hansen and Jin Frey automatically got signed to the UFC. Granted, Jin Frey was an atomweight champion, but Kay Hansen just stayed active in Invicta, and they already signed her automatically. She didn't have to go to the Contender Series. So I feel like for Taneisha Tennant, she goes back to Invicta, wins a few more times, maybe gets the belt, or goes to LFA, or between the two of these, there'll be a point where Dana White sees that she's making a statement. He'll realize that this is a woman that he needs in his bantamweight division. Especially when a lot of your top bantamweights are getting up in age and fight years. So that's something he definitely has to be looking at, that his bantamweight division is going to be drying up soon. So he needs women like her. So just keep trying to stay active. Just go back to the drawing board, try to get that title shot in Invicta, and keep working. And the last thing I'll say is make choices for you. I don't know how the contract was set up for Taneisha, but I can pretty much guess it wasn't set up for her to fight strictly at bantamweight. I feel like she just needs to make sure that certain opportunities are going to be set up for her, because you got to remember that no matter how big the opportunity seems, you just can't go for it all the time. Like I said, I don't know if they, just said, okay, we need you at featherweight. They just made her jump up real quick, or they promised her a bantamweight fight at that time and she just went on and took it. But, it's obvious that when it comes to Dana White and his choices, he's going to be picking money over talent. he's going to be picking hype over talent. So for Taneisha, I feel like she just has to remember that, being a young black woman in MMA, especially a young black woman going into the UFC, you already have a number of setbacks against you. And though Taneisha has great talents, I don't see the UFC just marketing her well off of that. I don't feel like they could just market her well off of talent and skill. So there's certain times you got to say, are they setting me up for defeat, or are they really trying to help me out? Because it's obvious, again, Dana White, he had two good paths. He had two good opportunities for himself. Danielle Wolf is his hype train he wants to build up to bring in more seats in the UFC. Then you had Taneisha Tennant, who's also a top skill fighter where, she could save my bantamweight division. But instead, he collides those two opportunities and messes one up, and possibly messed up the Danielle Wolf thing too, because, at 1-0, what is she really going to do at the end of the day? What is she really going to prove? So for Taneisha Tennant, I think moving forward, I think as long as she has the talent, she can call the shot. So that's why I say she really needs to start, making sure she makes choices for her, because next offer should be a contender fight at 135, or it should be a straight contract to the UFC. Because I think in Taneisha's situation, as long as you're good, you can pick what you want to do. Not necessarily you really want to call it cherry pick, but I just mean as far as business moves, she really should be able to pick what she wants to do. Because if you're beating everybody, all roads are going to lead to you. So again, that goes back to staying active, honing your craft, and to keep winning and keep fighting. Keep fighting and keep winning, because as long as you keep beating all these other fighters, all roads are going to lead to you. So just know that there's some people out there that's going to just see your talent as an advantage for them. Again, like I said, with the Dana White thing, he saw the 5-0 as a chance to put you in there to hype up his bigger fighter who was 0-0. So you got to look at those different things. But also, you will have to know hype will eventually get exposed, and you cannot deny talent. So yeah, for Taneisha, I'm always riding with you, and I feel like as long as you stay sharp, you'll be in a position where the UFC will need you.